Hey everyone, welcome to My Rising Rose, where we expand our consciousness and unite ourselves with the greater part of the cosmos that we all are, connecting with dragons and deities, while remaining grounded and ordinary in our humanity. As you can see, I've got a slightly different background going on today. I'm in the process of doing some updates to my setup so that everything looks really clear for you all. So I'm currently changing things around a little bit, so bear with me. But I kind of liked it because I sat down here in a new space to record this video, and I've got this picture behind me, and I noticed that it looks like I've got these almost like Medusa-like rays of energy coming out of my head, which just appeals to me. Maybe it's all the Scorpio in me, but I kind of like that. And it's kind of fitting in a way because I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to do something that I've never done before on a video, and that's I'm going to channel the blue dragon of the Rising Rose, who is called Eok-un, who is the Throat Chakra Dragon. He's part of the Throat Chakra of the cosmos. And so the first dragon that ever connected with me was actually the green dragon. He's the dragon of the heart. And I pushed him away because I thought I was going crazy. And it was only years later when I was in Sicily in the foothills of Mount Etna, after coming back from doing a ritual at the top of Mount Etna, when I connected much more vividly with these dragons and found out that they were part of a single group of dragons called the Dragons of the Rising Rose. The first dragon that connected with me at that time was the blue dragon called Eok-un. He's a masculine deity and he's very powerful. And to be honest with you, I think I've blocked him out a little bit because of my own blockages in my throat chakra and my own blockages in my masculinity and accepting all this power. Because obviously with great power comes great responsibility, and I'll be honest with you, I'm afraid of that responsibility, and it's difficult to step into that. So I think I've been blocking him a little bit, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you'll know that I've never channeled him. And truth be told, I very, very rarely speak to him. In fact, him and the Crown Chakra Dragon are the two kind of coloured dragons that I have connected with the least. They're both male, and they both have the quality of air, which is interesting. And that's one that is probably less present for me, that air quality. So before I get into that, I just want to do a quick update that the next opportunity to join Dragon Medicine will be on October the 22nd. That's on a Tuesday. So that's because Group 2 is moving from the lower chakra dragons to the middle chakra dragons. And they'll be beginning with Bal'thae'zar, who is the Heart Chakra Dragon, the green dragon that I mentioned, that I first met when I was in London, walking past near the Houses of Parliament. There's an abbey there. Well, I won't go into all of that now, but I saw him there and connected with him first. And then they'll be moving on to the Throat Chakra Dragon, Eok-un, who I'm going to be channeling today. So that'll be on the 22nd of October. So take a look at that. Have a look in the description of this video, and you can see a link to the Dragon Medicine program on my website. You can have a read through that. If finances are a struggle for you, then you can get in contact with me because I'm doing some scholarships. So there's a live access scholarship, which is basically a discount to the ordinary Dragon Medicine program, and then there's a recording only scholarship, which is got a really big discount on it. And with that one, you don't access the live meetings that we have every Tuesday. but instead you get access to the recording of that meeting. So you follow along using the recordings rather than the live meeting. So take a look at that. Send me a message if you want to find out more about it, and we can have a conversation. But for now, I'm going to do something very unusual for me. In fact, I don't think I have ever channeled Eok ever, aside from privately with myself. So this is a real first. So enjoy. Ganarayon. Yanarayo. Kianarano. Ganarano Wuren. Tekanarayon. Eok. 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 So I'm just tuning my consciousness in because it's been a really long time since I've even connected privately with Jack. Aside from the reasons that he mentioned, part of the reason is actually because it was a bit of a shock to his system when I first entered. And I was being a little bit cheeky with him and teased him a little bit when I first came in, which was probably an error on my part, because I shouldn't have teased him at a moment when he was just opening to us and it was quite vulnerable for him. I'm Eok. 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 Throat Chakra Dragon of the Rising Rose, part of the throat chakra of the cosmos. I would like to redefine this throat chakra. I don't believe the word throat really embodies what I am. Though, of course, I am connected with this region. There is much more than that. Like heart, for example, for the Heart Chakra Dragon is much more in line with who and what he is. Throat. Something about that word doesn't feel quite right. So I would like to redefine that, and I will do at some point. Now, the Heart Chakra Dragon sometimes refers to himself like he is a professor and or doctor. So what he's encapsulating there is his qualities in a way that you can understand by putting it in a frame of reference. So he's implying that he is someone of authority, someone who educates, someone who heals. And he's putting that in that way. To put myself in a similar way, then I would say that I am a magician, a leader, an orator. I am a speaker, of course. I speak into existence. I speak and I breathe. I breathe. And as I breathe, I flow life. And as I flow life, I create with my voice. I am a magician, a mage. Power is a very important aspect of who and what I am. Lightning well describes a quality of my essence. Lightning. Power. Yet calm. Calm power. Like the eye of the storm. Like the eye of the storm. One of the reasons that Jack brought me through today was because he could sense that his breath was somehow easier. All today he's had this inspiration to follow his breath, to take his mind away from the turbulence that so often preoccupies it unconsciously, and instead to consciously turn back toward the breath, as so many of you know from these very simple meditation practices. And yet there is so much more for you all to learn about how to engage in these practices, for they are very simple, but the truth is that very few of you are really maximizing the effectiveness of these practices because you do not understand some of the core principles. Now, of course, will be too much to go into today. I am simply introducing myself. This is in and of itself enough. I am simply introducing myself to you, the audience that we have here in my rising rose. And there will be much for me to reveal, all in good time. For now, let us just take a moment together to breathe. Can you be aware of your breath without trying to control your breath? See if you can right now. Can you stay with it? You're not trying to change it. Can you just notice the whole cycle? I'm doing this in Jack's body while I speak this to you. I'm directing his mind just to stay with the breath. You could do this anywhere, but I'm doing it in him at the belly. Breathing into his belly, and he's just aware of the way that it's expanding and contracting. Not doing anything special with the breath, not taking big breaths in, not taking big breaths out, nothing like that. Just noticing it as it is. he's noticing is that while this is happening, his body's starting to calm. There's something reassuring about how consistent the breath is. As his mind is resting on it, it's just going up and down. It's so easy. You don't have to do anything. Don't have to modify the breath in any way. You're just aware of it doing what it does. And when that is the object of your mind's attention, your mind isn't creating all these problems. It's just aware of something very natural and very easy. And the goal is just to let go of any of those little needles that find themselves piercing the peace of the mind. Those little fears, angers, sadnesses, those little spikes of emotion. Oftentimes, breathing practices will focus on thoughts in the mind. Well, I would actually rather focus on emotion. So if emotions are arising, you're just like allowing them to be there. And then you just notice the breathing. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. Very simple. Now, moving away from the practical dimension for a moment and into, if we like, a little bit of the theoretical. Jack has recently been going to the gym, where one of the important qualities to have, maybe the most important quality to have, is discipline. Now, discipline, for many of you, is not a word that you will like to hear, because you will mistake discipline for being disciplined, i.e., being punished and being controlled. Now, what I'm talking about is something quite different. Discipline is a form of self-respect. There's a form of energetic integrity, and it is absolutely essential for power. A lack of discipline is like having holes in a cup. No matter how much water you pour in, the water keeps leaking out. No matter how much energy you pour into your system, it keeps just leaking out. So you lack vitality, you lack power, you lack creativity. And it's easy to point the finger and blame others and blame lots of different things. But sooner or later, one has to admit their own complicity in their own powerlessness. That it is a self-creation, and one of its components is a lack of discipline. to be disciplined is primarily something that you do for yourself. You become disciplined because you want to enjoy the fruits of that discipline. You want to enjoy the fruits of a clearer mind, the peace and the potency of that. You want to enhance your life in such ways. So you choose to be disciplined because you know it will benefit you. And then from that, you being in integrity, you being empowered, you being everything that you wish, that then reverberates out to others. You're powerful and potent, clear, well then it's going to be, you're going to create that same thing in your relationships. It will be easier to empower others, it will be easier to provide clarity for others, etc., etc. Discipline sometimes gets a very poor reputation in modern spiritual circles because there has been a distinct absence of the divine masculine in the modern Western world. Because the energies of the masculine have not come through clearly, it has caused a rejection of those energies, because the lack of clarity of the masculine energy is leading to distortions whereby the masculine is seeking to control others, dominate, possess, punish, etc. So for some of you, you associate, mostly unconsciously, these masculine energies, which includes discipline, with really negative experiences, and therefore you reject it. Unfortunately, what happens in that process is you not only reject other masculine or male beings, you reject your own masculinity, you reject your own discipline, your own power, your own voice. And that causes you problems. And it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be this way. You can choose to be disciplined. You can choose to be powerful. Though you do need to choose it for it to be so. I don't know if you can hear this, but there are many sirens going off outside Jack's apartment right now, which is it's actually a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity to strengthen that discipline. Choosing not to be distracted, choosing to remain focused, choosing to remain relaxed. Jack's just remembered that a friend of his once was asked about creativity and the usefulness of meditation. And his friend said that a mind that isn't meditating and that is filled with lots of thoughts and emotions is like the surface of a pond that is covered with rippling water. It's like constantly throwing stones into that water and the surface is constantly moving. So if you wanted to create a single, well-defined, ripple across the surface of that water, you wouldn't be able to. It's already too turbulent. Whereas a mind that is calmed through meditation and discipline will be more still. And then if you wanted to create a clear, distinct ripple in that mind, a clear thought, a clear action, a clear creative impulse, it would be much easier. That clear creative impulse that I'm talking about is your word. You speak it into existence, and it is so. A clear mind that is connected to the heart, when it speaks through the voice, it becomes reality. This is how the ancient beings of your world were able to create incredible works of engineering. They literally spoke things into existence, or they sang things into existence. They shaped reality with their words and with their songs. Now, you may not be able to literally create pyramids with your songs just yet, but you are able to do much more than you are currently doing. You all have incredible capacity. The question is, will you be disciplined enough to clear out the rubble in your mind so that that capacity can become an actuality? As you may gather from my tone, I am very much aligned with the energy of the Father. No nonsense, no messing around. It's time to willfully change things. Let's drop the excuses. Let's drop the blaming. Let's accept our situation. Let's apply discipline. And let's make things the way we really want them to be. Can you feel the love in that? The love for beauty and serenity and empowerment and peace. You do not need to fear the will of the Father. Instead, you can discover and embrace the will of the Father as it flows through you, whether you are male or female, or however you perceive yourself. All beings are welcome to access this energy of power, discipline, and liberation. Whether you choose to, well, that is another matter. But you can. I'll leave things here for now. This video is really just meant as an introduction. As with all the channelings that we do through Jack, the important points here have all been unspoken. Yes, I am using words. Yes, those words are important. Yes, those words do shape reality. Yet there is a silent word that I've been speaking the entire time that I've been here. That silent word is the energy of my own self that I am shining through Jack's body, and that the sensitive among you will be able to feel directly. And that direct feeling, that is what I recommend you listen to. And I recommend you return to this video to listen to it multiple times to allow this to distill itself into your system. I am not separate from you. I am you in another form. I am you in the remembrance of my own power, my own integrity, my own authority. I am a memory returning to you from the aeons of lost knowledge. It is time to remember, and so I invite you to do just that.